Hey, what's going on, YouTube? It's your girl, Monique Sharice, coming at you this morning. I'm actually on two platforms this morning. I've got Facebook and I've got YouTube. So if you all see my eyes darting here and there, I'm not losing my mind or anything like that. I am just recording multiple spaces. Good morning, Facebook Live. What is going on? It's your girl Mo coming at you. It is Thursday, January 7th, 2021. And ladies and gentlemen, we have managed to make it, well, tomorrow will actually make a week since we've been in 2021. But 1 through 7 makes a week. That's 7. That's 7 days. That's a week. Today, we made it a week. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Praise God. Praise God. And, as I tell my subscribers on YouTube, and those of you that watch here on Facebook Live, whenever I post something, I have to thank God. I do. I thank God. I praise God. I give all the glory, the honor, the praise to God, not man. Now, I will admit in the past, I've given everything to man. Not going to sit here and say men, but man. And it's gotten me nowhere. Literally, it has gotten me nowhere. And so this is why I start my day with devotional material, the Holy Bible, affirmations, and, various other reading material so that I can grow spiritually, because physically I'm not getting any taller, and weight-wise, due to the lovely medication that I've been prescribed for my Graves' disease, I feel like my weight is actually picking up. I mean, I actually have more of an appetite. But of course, weed really is the only thing that gives me an appetite. So that's neither here nor there. But as forestated, I have to give all praise, all honor to God. Period. With that being said, how was you all's Christmas? How was you all's New Year? Those of you that know me or have seen the pictures that I posted over the holiday or that have spoken to me over the holiday are well aware of the fact that I had a house full. The only person missing was my son. He went to his brother's. My mother, all of my daughters, excuse me, all of my daughters were here. And we had us a special guest this Christmas, Selena Nicole. Yes. I would have gone live with her on Facebook, but with Selena being I guess, in foster care, temporarily in foster care. And then Dominique was here, and the state, for some reason, they're either on her Facebook page or they're on my Facebook page. So, and right now, because of the 6 CPS reports that I have against me, I'm not supposed to be around the baby alone. But anyways, it was nice. It was nice. The holiday was nice. I mean, You all know my relationship with my mother and with Dominique. Both those females, for lack of a better word, together. Mm, praise God. Um, I've got so much on my spirit right now. So much that I'm dealing with in my life. Goals, plans, desires I'm trying to follow through. Uh, Goals and desires that I've set for myself. But this morning, I want to talk about mothers and daughters. Now, if you're a subscriber to my YouTube page, Monique Charisse, you've been following me, you probably have heard about what I shared here lately regarding mothers and daughters, specifically a girlfriend, childhood friend of mine has shared with me over the holidays her upbringing. And it's funny because you never really know somebody. You never really know somebody. You never really know what they're going through. You never really know their background. You never really know anybody. Period. I say that, I start with that, you know, my girlfriend, I'm not going to use her name, she called me maybe the day before Christmas Eve, and she was so upset. She was so upset. She was so upset. She was so upset. She was angry. She was upset. She was crying. She said, "Girl, I can't take it no more." She said, "I just couldn't take it no more." And I'm like, "What are you talking about? What's going on?" So she proceeds to tell me how her brother, she is two, apparently had been living with their mother forever. Because he's like 50 something, I believe. And picked this one particular time, day of the week, to curse out his mother and his aunt that is in a wheelchair that stays with his mother. Cursed them both out. And so my girlfriend, his sister, took him in. Hey, this is my brother. I'm not going to have him on the streets. Right? So she proceeds to tell me how he can't keep his hands to himself. He likes to play the touchy-feely game. You know, he likes to rub and touch on people, and not in a nice way. Now, I've shared with, you know, some of you all here, some of you all on Facebook, some of my friends, relatives, that this same friend of mine, her brother, her oldest brother, from the time, I'm going to give it 7. From the time I was 7 years old up until I turned 12. Well, I turned 12. Her oldest brother molested me without fail. Whenever, you know, I went to visit her on the weekends, and I did, this was something often, it was almost like an unspoken fact that this was going to happen whenever I went over there. Like I say, he was older. To be honest with you, I don't even know how much older he is than us. But, I mean, at the time, honestly, because my mother, my parents, nobody had taught me about sex, intercourse at this time. Like I say, I was 7, 8 years old. I didn't think there was anything wrong. I didn't. It was like, hey, I'm having sex. Yay. I mean, I guess you could say, in a sense, I thought it was wrong because it happened at night. And it was never like, anything was said out loud. Hey, yeah, come to the basement when everybody else is asleep. No, it wasn't nothing like that. But anyways, like I say, it stopped. I guess I was about 12. Yeah, I was 12 because I'd started my cycle. I started my menstrual cycle. But anyways, and everybody knew. I mean, hell, I'm almost positive my girlfriend's mother knew. Because, I mean, the very first time it happened, I think the very first time it happened, I might have been about 6. And the very first time it happened, I was in between her brothers, a threesome, a sandwich, if you will, on her bathroom floor. Like I said, I was about 6 when this happened. And our parents, her mother, my mother, had left these 2 boys. We were in their care. They were supposed to be watching over us. They were supposed to be protecting us, not having a 6-year-old between them. Anyways, so my girlfriend proceeds to tell me how, he'd been touching her, couldn't keep his hands off of her. And she has 2 kids. Her daughter, well, our daughters are 13 years old. Excuse me, a couple of months apart. She's got a son that's a year younger than my son, 16. So anyway, she proceeds to tell me how her daughter called her. She was out running errands. Her daughter called her and said, "Ma, you need to come back. I don't feel comfortable around him. You need to come and get me. You need to come home." Who wants to live like that? Who wants to live like that? But anyways, so apparently the one night where she couldn't take it anymore, apparently they were sitting on the sofa or something, and he picked up her leg and started rubbing it and telling her about her calves and how strong her calves were. And she told me, she said, "Monique, I couldn't do it anymore." She said, "I asked him to leave. I told him, get the fuck out." What's funny? Her mother not speaking to her. Her mother angry that she put her brother out who couldn't keep his hands off of her. When she called her mother and told her mother, "Hey, my daughter is upset because she doesn't want to be around him," her mother's response, "Oh, he don't want her. He don't want her. Leave that shit alone. He don't want her." Had to take a sip of my tea. What are you teaching your daughters? Just what are you teaching your daughters, your children, period, but your daughters? And see, I speak on daughters because I am one, and I have 4. I have 4 girls, 2 granddaughters. And I've asked myself that same question, especially with Dominique going through the foster care system like she's doing. What are you teaching your daughters? Are you teaching your daughters that their brother is better than them? Are you teaching your daughters that they're less than? Then guess what? You are going to make me a very rich bitch within these next 5 to 6 years, because the field that I plan on going into is mental health therapy. I don't want to do anything with medication. I'm not giving drugs. Hell, if anything, you come to my agency, hell, smoke a blunt. Smoke a joint. That's me. Anyways, I just felt so bad for her. She was in tears and I'm listening to her and I asked her, I said, do you remember when your other brother, and I'm not mentioning names, when your other brother was doing what he was doing to me? And she did. She remembered when it started. She remembered when it started. And you know what's funny? I did. I went to visit her. I went to see her the day before, the 29th. The 29th, last week. Me and my three girls went. And, her and I were in her bedroom. And, we're talking. And, she goes on to tell me another story regarding not her stepbrother, not her half brother, but her biological brother. I guess she was about 14, 15. He took her to the Pistons game out in Auburn Hills. And on the way back, he pulled over and proceeded to rape her. Proceeded to rape her. She said, girl, I did my damnedest to fuck him up. And she got home and she told her mother, and her mother said, okay, first of all, he was drunk. He don't want you. And we're going to keep this quiet. We're not going to talk about this anymore because there's nothing wrong with your brother. Let that sink in. There's nothing wrong with your brother. He was drunk. We're not going to talk about this anymore. The messed up part, it happened at least 4 or 5 more times after that. What are you teaching your daughters? Are you teaching your girls to respect themselves? Are you teaching your girls to respect their bodies? Are you teaching your girls to respect their minds? Or are you teaching your daughters to settle? Are you make it so bad she's got 2 younger daughters? One in her 30s, one damn near 40. 2 more daughters that she treats like fucking royalty. And they are constantly, the 3 of them, constantly shitting on this girl. Constantly. Constantly. You know what's sad is, I know where her mother lives, and I actually saw her in November when I was in the city for a couple of funerals. And praise God. Now the killing part, this is the kicker, ladies and gentlemen. When I was on the phone with my girl, like I said, this was the day before Christmas Eve. My mother was here. And she asked me, she said, what's going on? After I got off the phone with Michelle, she said, what's going on? And I told her. Because we both knew what had happened uh, uh, to my girlfriend, her brother. We knew all that. Him cursing out his mom and his aunt, him having to move, him having to leave the house. We knew that. So I'm telling my mother, I said, yeah, she had to put him out because he wouldn't keep his hands off of her. And now her mother is mad because she put him out. My mother's response. Can you guess what my mother's response was? Well, I'm not making excuses for anybody, but she was raped. My girlfriend's mother was raped. Like I said, I'm not using any names. And I'm listening to my mother make excuses for this woman She's making excuses for this woman. So what? She was raped. That's wonderful. I mean, so what you're telling me as my mother sitting here in front of me is it's okay that my girlfriend, her mama, is mad at her because she put her brother out because he wouldn't keep his hands off of her. It's okay that all this happened because her mama was raped. Mind you, this is what my mother is telling me. And people, when I say I lost it, I did. Because she's sitting here. As this shit is spewing from her mouth, she's holding my granddaughter. She's holding my granddaughter. She's holding a baby that the state has given her. Not knowing her past history. Not knowing her abusive history. Not knowing that she tells lies on people's kids. Not knowing that she's a blackout drunk. And so I lost it. And I said, okay. I said, And I let go. I said, I said, so I guess it's okay that between the ages of 7 and 12, her son raped me. Her son molested me. And the first time it happened, she called you and you beat me with a broom handle. I lost it. She started mumbling. She started getting upset. She started getting angry. What are you getting mad for? Because this happened to me? Come to find out, because she wanted to call me a liar. Just like her mama did. When I brought it to her attention back in May, her mother called me. My grandmother called me, left a very nasty voicemail message on my voicemail, calling me a liar, telling me she didn't know what kind of shit I was trying to start because she was here in Michigan and ain't nothing happened to me. You were in my life 24/7 before you went to Michigan. I know before you left Michigan, I know you watching this. So I'm talking to you directly, Frederica Harvey. And then when I told my mother that my girlfriend remembered, oh, give me her number. Give me her number. Why do you want her number? Why do you want her number? To confirm? So somebody else other than me can say, hey, this shit happened to your fucking kid? My word isn't enough? So I'm giving her the number. and she's pressing it in her phone. And she goes, well, since I don't remember, can we just squash it? Can we just squash this and leave it in the past? What? I ain't hear you. What the fuck did you just say? What did you just say to me? Because I don't remember. Can we just squash it? And I said, sure. Just like you want to squash, you making my baby piss in the kitchen sink because you had dick in your bedroom and you didn't want her to interrupt his sleep. My daughter that is deceased, Angelica Nicole, yes. The last time my mother saw my daughter was September of 2014. And that was my doing. See, people, this is why I ask, what are you teaching your daughters? What are you teaching your daughters? Because guess what? When you're not teaching your daughters, when you're not teaching your kids, somebody else is. Unfortunately, my mother is delayed. My mother has issues. And she had them even bad back then in her 20s because she was young. And she was doing drugs and she was finger popping. So yeah, her parents, her mama might have been here in Michigan, but boo, trust and believe, you were not here 24/7. You don't even like your kid. She's an embarrassment to you, like I've told her. Once again, people, what are you teaching your daughters? Are you teaching your daughters to love themselves? Are you teaching your daughters first and foremost? Sorry. Move one thing, you move them all. First and foremost, to love God. Are you teaching them about God? Are you teaching them about God? I'm not saying sending them to church, sending them on a bus, sending them on a church bus. But are you teaching your daughters? And what are you teaching them? I mean, in my case, I've got a child that's deceased. Not my fault. Number 2, 3 kids in the foster care system. She just running like her grandmother. That's it. She's her grandmother all over again. Unfortunately, and it's sad. Now, see, growing up, I never saw the foster care system. CPS was never a staple in my life. Why? Because her family covered shit up for her. Her family covered shit up. She did something to me. CPS came. This happened. Oh, her people were Johnny on the spot. For her. Nobody gave a shit about what happened to me and my brother. Just like nobody gave a shit about what happened to my girlfriend when she was coming up. And even what's going on in her life now. And it's sad, people. It's so sad. It is. Because her own children have been molested. And she's got her mother and her sisters telling her, oh, get over it, get over it, get over it. Get over it? It didn't happen to your kids. It didn't happen to you. And unfortunately, because her mother has said to her, we're not going to talk about this, her sisters don't know what has happened to her. What are you teaching your daughters? I see mothers, on Facebook, social media with their daughters dressing in skimpy clothes. I can't be my daughter's friend. I'm not going to feel comfortable being my daughter's friend because if I'm your friend, you're not going to learn shit from me. You're not going to listen to me. Yeah, I admit I sit up. I'll smoke a blunt with Dominique every now and again, but at the same time, I'm smoking that blunt with her. I'm giving her knowledge. We sit and we talk. We communicate. Now, whether or not she listens is a different story. Because as they say, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make that bitch drink. Well, folks, that is the end of it for me today. Unless I come up with something else interesting to talk about today. Like I said, this particular topic was on my head, was on my spirit rather, and I wanted to share it. And just say this. Watch out for your girls, mothers. The Lord didn't give them girls to just anybody. He gave them to you. And see, I'm not telling you nothing I don't even know myself. I'm not telling you nothing I don't tell myself. I gave birth to 5 bitches. One of them gone. I got 4 left and I got 2 granddaughters. Love your daughters. Be blessed.